How is everything in Minnesota? Is it pretty bad or is it
It's actually not bad. Um, I mean, like politics aside, we're having some issues with the president tweeting some stuff, but at Minnesota. But other than that, like, there's a lot of big companies, a lot of big like medical companies based in Minnesota that are doing a lot of good.
Mhm.
Um, and it's kind of cold. Or recently, it just warmed up, but it's been kind of colder here, so everyone's staying inside anyways, so that's good. Uh, but in Minnesota, like, it's not as bad, which thank God.
Got you? It's still cold, you said?
Now it's starting to turn nicer. I think today is like 65, which is like beautiful and sunny, and starting to see people social distancing, but like going on nice walks and bike rides and things like that. So
Got you. So, what I know with everything going on, and I know it's it's a lot to do with the producing the face mask. I don't know how time consuming it is. If you could walk
yeah,
me through the process of that, like what's it like?
yeah. So I mean, um, I first heard about it about like the idea of 3D printing face masks. How long ago did we have spring break?
We went on lockdown like in the U.S. like when he did the travel ban like early March, like mid March.
Okay. So I probably heard about the face masks mid March. And then I was really skeptical about it just because, like, who would accept face masks and who would accept, like, 3D printed homemade stuff? And then my mom sent me an article that the National Institute of Health, like, basically sent out a plea to all of these people that have 3D printers to and they gave them a free file to like 3D print face shields and um, and kind of the exact steps to do it, and it's been approved by the National Institute of Health. So kind of once I got that, and once I saw that it was kind of verified and people would actually accept it, I started printing masks. Um, and I reached out to a couple different. I knew that I wasn't going to kind of get them to hospitals, but I reached out to a couple different nursing homes and some contacts that I knew in nursing homes, and I asked them if they wanted one. So I gave them a prototype, and they said yes. Just print as many as you possibly can, and we'll take them. So it takes about. So the masks themselves are in three parts. I actually have a mask for you to show you. So let's see. So they're in three parts. There's the plastic part, like the clear plastic part, the kind of the 3D printed part, and then the elastic in the back. So
What's the part that's 3D printed? The plastic isn't, right?
the clear plastic isn't, but this part is.
Got you.
So this is kind of what attaches everything together. Um, and each one of those takes about uh, 3 hours to print. With my printer, depending on printers and things like that, it differs. But then assembly itself takes 3 minutes. Um, so in a day, I probably make five or six, and then every week or so, I go to my nursing home and I kind of hand them off.
Wow. So two things. So that piece that you got, like that you make with the 3D printer, that comes with the like you make that yourself. But the black piece, the
Yeah.
rubber band, the surrounding, and the plastic, where do you get that from?
So there's actually, interestingly enough, or I guess not so interesting, there's a national shortage of both of those things.
Hmm.
The elastic in the back, you can just like go to um, any fabric store. I mean, before this all happened, you could just go to any fabric store and buy it. But because there's a national shortage, um, I actually reached out to a or my mom has a contact in that's like a big wholesale fabric store, and I reached out and I said, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. Um, is there any way that you have any extra? Can you donate it?" And he said, "I actually have like this is my last one. You're doing great. Here you go." So I got 50 yards of elastic, and before that, I was just kind of taking apart any elastic that I had in my house and kind of using that in the back. And then the clear plastic is really like um, those plastic protectors that you can use on notebooks and things.
Though the dividers kind of.
Yeah, yeah, the dividers.
Hmm.
So it's that. So the National Institute of Health said they gave like basically a list of all of these different things that you can purchase, and like these are the recommended things. So I went on Amazon and I bought, I don't remember how many. I just bought those, and they're like 3-hole punch, so you kind of just assemble it, and it's pretty easy and straightforward. But that's really just plastic that you would get at Office Depot or Amazon.
Wow, that's amazing. And now going back to the 3D printer, because most people when they have I don't know like the true understanding like how a bar mitzvah is set up as far as like gifts and money and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But when you did get the receive the gifts at your bar mitzvah, like what was that? Is that like common for someone to be like, okay, I want this? Like,
Oh,
why did
yeah.
you what made you want to get a 3D printer?
So uh, ever since I was really young, I was like, I've been taking apart different things and putting together different things, like taking apart computers and radios. And I built a computer with my dad, and like, I've always been super interested in how things work. And for a really long time, I thought I was going to be an engineer, and specifically a biomedical engineer making prosthetics. When I was in 8th grade, I got the amazing opportunity to go to Mayo Clinic, and they were actually researching 3D printing using stem cells to like create human organisms, ears and tracheas and things like that. And it blew me away. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So when I once I got my bar mitzvah and I kind of got all the my bar mitzvah money, um, I said to my parents, "This is what I want to buy. I think it's super cool," and they're super supportive of everything. But my dad basically said, "Okay, you need to do a bunch of research to find the best one, the best pricing, like the different things that it can do." So it's not a common thing. Most people buy uh, jewelry or computers or Xboxes or invest it or kind of just keep it in the bank. And along with all of those things, I thought it'd be really cool and unique to 3D print. I mean, to buy a 3D printer. And up until very recently, I've just kind of been designing and making just random things. And then when I got the call, I guess to make masks, I've just transitioned to that.
You got the call. Was it now when you say the call, are you talking about like a literal call or more of like a spiritual call? Like, oh, I felt like this was a calling that I should have.
More like a spiritual call, I guess. My like it's always really good to do good in the community and do everything that you can. My mom is making masks, not like face shields, but just those masks that you would kind of wear. My sister is um, immunodeficient. I have family members that are immunodeficient, and I figured like this is an easy thing that I can do that doesn't really take up a lot of my time. That can really do some good. So once I learned that it was an option, I knew that it was something that I wanted to do.
Got you. That's really amazing. And as far as are you still producing face masks and stuff still?
Yeah, as we speak, one is printing right now.
Oh, that's amazing. How many have you done so far?
So I did my first round was 15. My second round was, I think I'm by the end of tomorrow I will have made 30 and given them to the nursing home across the street, which is where my grandpa lived before he passed away.
Okay. Um, During this time with everything going on, what has been something that you do that has helped to keep your sanity, during this quarantine and staying inside and social distancing?
Um, I know that I'm very fortunate. Like just in general in life, I know that I'm very fortunate, and this has really solidified and cemented the fact that I'm very fortunate. I'm with my family. Everyone I know and love is safe and relatively healthy. And counting my blessings is like a super important thing, but also finding some activity, something to do to keep yourself busy and having a goal. Um, and like this is one thing where it's simple to do, and it like it gives me something to do, and it gives me something to kind of look forward to and spend time doing. But also, I've picked up random tasks. I've done a lot of yard work for my dad. Um, that's kind of what I've been doing to stay busy. But it's hard. Like it sucks, and we're all in the same boat. But I'm trying my best.
Well, thank you, Ronan. I really appreciate you talking with me and sharing your story.
Yeah, of course.
And I love to hear that you're doing that. That's amazing.